Good morning, everyone. I am your meter. Going live again. Hopefully, this is not 52 going lives. Good morning, everyone. It says I'm live. I see a microphone again. There's noise on it. It looks like it may be actually working. Okay, so I'm still having the frustrations of OBS is not hooking up to YouTube. Not just all of a sudden just stopped. Wednesday was fine. Yesterday it stopped. Here we are again today. So I'm just going live out on YouTube straight up instead of going through OBS, which changes the charts and does things like that for me. Okay, so now I got to struggle and kind of go from chart to chart, but we will be able to see some of the charts that I look at and some of the things I look at on a daily basis. And we will go through everything here. We've lost about 15 minutes. I'm sorry about that. You know, I normally like to go about an hour. I'll probably go a half hour. It's Friday. It's been a long week. We've had some stuff going on in the family, and it's just been a lot of between physical stuff. It's also been a lot of mental strain going on. So say some prayers for us as we try to do that for everyone out there also. And we will move forward. Let's start with some current weather. Let me see if I can figure out a few of these buttons. Go right there. It's 66 degrees outside. I'm pretty sure that's what you're seeing now at this point. I don't know that for sure. And I don't know if I'm going to know that for sure. Oh, there's my live stream. There we go. I can see the live stream over here on this button right there. I wonder if I could change that over to the second screen over here and just leave it. Yeah, I probably can. There we go. That way I can look at the charts that are up and what we are seeing and what you are seeing out there. Okay, that sounds good. All right, so here's what we've got for us right now. 66 degrees, very warm, just like it was yesterday morning. You remember we were already pushing towards 70 by the end of the show yesterday, and it did look like we were on our way to mid 80s, and sure enough, 84 is exactly what we got to yesterday. It looks like, and 84 is about what you're going to see today. And you notice there's an update every day. It goes back to the higher temperature, and then it goes back to the lower temperature, then the lower temperature, right? And then I suggest that tomorrow this will pop to 84, right? Or 82, because what did I say? If we have abundant sunshine, we are going to have temperatures in the low 80s. That's almost a guarantee right there. Because even with an easterly wind, unless that easterly wind is just pulling in really cold weather to our east, we are going to be seeing easterly winds that just basically cool us just enough. So instead of getting to the upper 80s, we're going to be in the low to mid 80s each day. Even though this says 77 for the next couple days, I suggest 80 to 85 is what we will see most every day with sunshine. And we have kind of like a blocking setup right now where we are being blocked from any movement of any kind by our systems and by what's going on in our systems. Okay. So that's kind of what you're seeing, at least at this point. You notice it says lots of sunshine. I don't see a lot in the forecast to make any ideas for any changes at all. It looks like on this front at all. So that's where we're at least on the initial front, right? The initial go to that's there. on that. So it's 66. We're looking like that. Let me see if I can change over to the COD. I think I got to go back to my page, my Lofty live stream page, and go to the sharing tab and come out. Right? Don't turn it off. Turn it back on. Oop, there we go. Hit the button and go to my satellite and radar. You can see the satellite and radar, and there it is. All right. So what do we have? First off, let's get this thing moving. Let's loop it, right? This is the whole United States. And yesterday we talked about this, that there's this big high pressure system basically stretching all across the Great Lakes through the Midwest, out over the Atlantic Ocean. You notice this right here. And your systems are not moving in their normal directions. Look at this. This is moving northeast from the southeast to the northwest. Excuse me. Man, my directions are all what's that? Jerry rigged. I don't know what that means. I can't figure it out. I got to change it every time I see it, it seems like. And I've been doing this for 40 years. You think that I would have it pretty straightened out by now. So, what do we have? Well, there's a big low pressure system basically in the upper atmosphere out on the west coast, and on the east coast we have a big high pressure system. So any weather is funneling up through here, but only the weather that's closer to us has really gathering any storms. This stuff out here over the Rockies isn't doing much other than creating some beautiful pictures at night. I'm sure there's probably a few scattered showers and rain out there, but nothing like that we're seeing here along the central portion of the United States and along the upper and lower Mississippi valleys. All right, there you go. So you've got that. There's where it is. Now, Lafayette's right about here. The first thing I distinctly see is we see the darkness change. We go from that light gray to a dark, dark color, and that's just showing our temperatures changing, right? So let's go in a little closer, see what we can see here. Here's Lafayette, and there it is. Look at that. Some of the low clouds that are streaming and the mid clouds that are in the area right now, they're starting to dissipate. And as soon as they do, look at this, the temperature goes right up goes. And so we're at that time of the year now already. Here we are pushing into June. And for the next couple of months, we're going to have sunshine early in the morning compared to what we are used to. And so we're going to be warmer early in the morning. I can remember those days as a kid, hopping up to go into town, riding my bicycle in to play baseball or whatever it was. And it was already felt like it was 80 degrees. And it was just early morning hours, 7, 8, 9 o'clock, that kind of thing. So we see this here. Now, what's the big deal here? Well, you can almost draw a line in somewhere right along this edge. And this is about exactly where I put it yesterday and said nothing can get past this point. And well, why can't it do that? Because the high is just too strong right now. And not only is the high too strong, there's more behind it, high pressure. The ridging extends back up into Canada. That's going to move in, and we are going to be under an extended period of good weather. Now, I know everybody says, well, that's great, Brian. We're going into summer. It's going to be warm. Yeah, and that is. I absolutely love that too. But we need some rain. We need some rain in the forecast. We need some rain for the crops that have just been put in the ground, for your gardens you may have just planted. We need to get that in store so that you can see that at any given time. All right. So that's what we're looking at least on that front. So let's change now. Let's get out of the satellite. We've seen in close. We can see where some of the shadows are there. And then we see the darkness where the heat is already starting up the atmosphere. And so I'm going to change it. Came back out to me, and we're going to go and take a look around the area real quick. Let's see where some of the the clouds are setting up, because there are some clouds now. They're dissipating this morning. Hopefully you're able to see this pretty easily here this morning. And let's go out to our Fowler camera and get a count out there. It's one today on the stretch of highway. Lots of blue sky out there, so they are looking pretty good. Then let's go up north where we think there are some more clouds up there, but look at it's shining through pretty easily. If there's cloud cover, we're not seeing it, so it must be mostly temperatures or what we're seeing on the camera there. All right. Oh, let's check out the construction real quick. 2 cameras back. Oh, they don't have a picture of it today. No picture of the construction today up there near Rensselaer. All right, but we do see good traffic. We do see really beautiful blue skies everywhere. So we're not seeing any low cloud cover at all. We're seeing some clouds off in the distance. That's about it, and there's just nothing there. It's lots of sunshine, right? Pretty heavy traffic near the 231 Southern Junction there, where it crosses the first time, right? If you're heading north, that is, and lots of sunny skies. All right. Now we get to State Road 43 in close to Lafayette, and we're looking really, really good. I see no changes here. That's why I'm going through these pretty quickly, right? Lots of blue sky. We're just seeing traffic on the road. This is at State Road 25 facing back towards the north. So it's like it's shifting right down the interstate, and at that spot, that's looking towards the northwest, which is where 43 comes into the picture, which is right on the hill over here. That's where 43's exit is. All right, so here's State Road 26 exit. Pretty quiet traffic wise there this morning. Now I pick up a little bit. See, it's focused a little more towards the north, and you can see some of the just haze of clouds there. That's about it. Nothing major. Facing to the south, the State Road 38 camera does show you can see some of the clouds out on the horizons out there that are pretty far away, believe it or not. And then as you go down to State Road 28, looking pretty good. We have dry fields down here. Yes, these couple fields here tend to hold water a lot. So the farmers here want a little bit of dryness, try to get some crops in there, see if you can, produce something out of that. And then looking off towards the metropolis of Fowler, we don't see much at all. Let's go back to the local pictures here up on the west side, looking great. Sunshine. We're looking really good. So no problems today in our neighborhood. Okay, so we've seen all the pictures. There we are. Let's now switch out and go back to, here we go. I got to turn it off. Hello, beautiful people. Good to see you again. Then I turn it back on. Now let's go to the forecast page. This is what we've been looking for, right? All right, the forecast page. Remember yesterday, I drew a line kind of right along here that no rain would be anywhere from basically the Dakotas, Minnesota, Iowa, into central southern Illinois. We'll call that southern Illinois down by St. Louis, and then arcing back in towards the Carolinas. And it would be hard pressed. Here's your big high right here, right? But then you see ridging going off this direction, and ridging is an extension of the high into that direction. It's kind of like a front coming out of a low pressure system, if you really want to think about it that way. Remember, all the air around the high is spinning away from the high. It's going away from it. The lows, everything is spinning into the center. Hence, you draw everything into it. That's the way I like to always remember about it. If you're spinning away from the center, you're taking everything away from the center. So it's nice weather. You have a better chance. If you're spinning everything into the center, you're bringing everything in the region into it, you're now going to have bad weather. That was the really easy way for me to remember when I first started in weather when I was 18 years old and didn't know a lick of anything about it, right? So that's how that worked, at least on that front. So here's the HER model. This is 13Z. This is our current time frame, and we see some showers out towards the west, okay? I'll go back to the satellite picture and show you where those showers are, and this is pretty dead on right where they're at. Let's see what happens during the day today. You remember that line? Remember the line I showed you up to about St. Louis, and then look what happens. It just stops, runs into the high, and can't go anywhere. And then, maybe the arc of the line is shifted a little bit, but nothing gets into Indiana. Indiana is looking great. And then we start to pick up a stronger wind tomorrow and into Sunday, right? So the stronger wind, at least with that portion, I can see our temperatures maybe being a little cooler, right? But the last few days with no wind, right? So right here, the high has been over us today. This is where we are right now this morning. The high is right here. There's not much wind around it at all. It's very light. You're talking under 10 knots pretty much everywhere. And then watch what happens, though, as we increase during the day, and look at the lines coming in from the north. As the main high shifts off, we see these lines coming in from the north. And look at here. Notice the millibars are increasing 10, 14, 10, 16, 18, 20, 22. That means there's another high right up here in control. But it also means we're starting to pick up wind. Isobars close together like this, real close, not far apart like this to here, right? Here to here, there's less wind. Here to here, there's more wind. watch as they get closer and closer, and then eventually it engulfs us by tomorrow morning. And it's going to be a windy day tomorrow, but it's going to be a cooler day. Now that I can see at least cool temperatures. It's now, what am I talking cool? I'm talking 78 instead of 82. That's what we're talking. All right. That's about the difference. But look at nothing gets past that demarcation line that I supposedly speak, a military term, where nothing can kind of get past there, can it? Look at Dakotas through Minnesota, Iowa, through southern central Illinois, maybe even St. Louis, down to Kentucky and into the Carolinas. And there is nothing here for 2 days. 2 days straight, it looks like that. If I stick the Nam Nest and go out just a little farther, right, it does the same thing. Nothing. And you see a pickup in the wind, and then a system tries to come in, but then it beats its head against this big old high, and then it just falls apart. So here's Sunday showing really dry weather again for Indiana. All right, now let's go to the GFS. What's the GFS show? Well, it shows that weather a little closer, but it still shows big old high in control and trying to control what's going on in our weather. All right, so we go farther out, and there's just one slight chance of a shower, and that's not even Lafayette. That's southern Indiana. And then the high just keeps control. And I'm going out now. I'm out to going into Tuesday here. Look at the big high right here. Look at now the ridge is angling this way. And you kind of have two ridges in here, one going almost due west and one kind of kicking out towards the southwest from around the high. And then, of course, you got another one that's going off towards the northeast, east, northeast, somewhere in that direction. It's off the chart a little bit. But look at this. The high is still in control. Tuesday. Now we're into Wednesday. Now we're into Thursday. But the only thing we changed is instead of the rain being on an angle like this from say south of us to our northwest, now we've got a southwest to northerly fetch. Everything's going around us that direction. And you notice no rain for Indiana, Ohio, nobody. This is Thursday. Now, yesterday, if I remember, it was Friday or Saturday or Sunday, somewhere in there, maybe even Monday, that it rained finally on the charts. Let's see what we can get. And yep, here we go. We try to drag something in, maybe Friday. There it is. Friday, we have a system that tries to break through the high, and it does. And, I say try and this, they don't have a mind of their own. They're all part of physics and how physics works. Well, the highs are too big and strong to allow the systems in. But finally, one's just a little big enough by next Friday or Saturday to get through here. And then look what happens. Here comes another high. And sure enough, our charts are setting up exactly the same way. So maybe Friday, Saturday, we have some rain next week. And then the big old high sets up and it moves through. And it just stays in control. Here I am Tuesday, the following week, June 9th. The high is still there, or a high. Now a different high from what we started off with our first couple of days. And look at how nothing happens. And then finally, way out, do we get something? No, look at that. Friday, June 12th, 2 weeks from today, still no rain. Just that one day, maybe Friday and Saturday. We'll call it 2 days, but probably a 24-hour period where we have a chance for some rain next week. And then maybe it gets close to us. Now, there's some two or three things can go bad with a scenario like this, all right? First off, dry. It can be too dry. We can have problems with our plants. You can also be too wet. Remember, these people here, we go back to here where the rain is coming through this area right here for days on end. Okay. Flooding in Missouri, maybe portions of Nebraska, Iowa, South Dakota, anywhere along this area, Kansas, those areas where they're getting lots of rain over a bunch of days while we're high and dry is where there could be some flooding in this kind of scenario when we get a blocking high like this to set up. And it happens. We see it from time to time, and we are going to see it for the next week, week and a half, it looks like. It's kind of why I went through our charts so fast. There's no reason to look at much else, is there? You see the big old high. I'm talking about it. It's pretty cool. Let's look at the temperatures on the GFS. Let's see if we're back towards today. All right. So, and what you're going to see is a lot of, remember yesterday, it was only saying 75 and we got to 84. So remember, first off, the GFS doesn't work in close in as good as the HER does. The HER gets those temperatures good. I'll come back to those in a second, but let's just look at the trends here. And you're going to see lots of ups and downs. You're going to see probably on the GFS, it's going to show lots of 70s, right? And then when it gets to the day, it'll adjust to the 80s or whatever it is. See 70s. Now, the days that it's calmer, like Saturday, Sunday, right? It's showing calmer weather again. I would think your temperature has a better chance to jump up. I see occasional 50s. There's an upper 70 for next week, Monday. And then we've got a rebound to the lower 70s, it looks like. Maybe 70, mid 70s, right? So I would, again, tack on 5 degrees on here, depending on each day, because I believe right now the GFS is off on its temperatures pretty good. Now we're back into the lower 80s, all right, by the end of next week. And then, of course, there's got to be some kind of warm up right before the system comes through, right? And you can see that the 80s start creeping in, and that's actually on the GFS. So I wouldn't be surprised next Thursday or Friday we pop 85 to maybe 88, something like that. And it'll be a stronger southerly wind that pulls up some of the warmth from that time frame. And then, sure enough, look how warm it gets on. I think that's Friday right there, right before the rains hit. You can see that there's a muddledness of it. But look at this pocket of upper 90 or upper 80s just to our south and to our southwest, and we could easily get into that. We're a week away from this, so lots of things are going to change. But the trend, what is the trend? The trend is slightly at or above normal temperatures and dry. Dry, dry, dry. So a lot of upper 70s it's showing on here. There's some eight. Look at this. Man, upper Wisconsin into the 90s. 90s next Tuesday, June 9th, a week and a half from now. And we're in the 80s. Must be a lot of rain in this area right here, right? And then we move on, and there's some 80s for us that the chart's actually showing 80s. But remember, tack on a few degrees, I think, each day. 87 finally. What day is that? Wow. Where was that again? Right there. Okay, 87 on Thursday, June 11th. June 11th, almost 2 weeks out, and there is almost 90 degrees right here on this. So I would say we might be tapping close to 90 for a couple days in a row there, June 11th and 12th. But now that's a long ways out. And then another day actually shows us at 89 there on that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, June 11th, 12th, and 13th, maybe touching 90 degrees for our first ones of the year. Look how warm it is out in the plains now. I would see you're probably shifting your entire pattern towards the end here, and look at the warmth that's starting to come out here, and maybe the high is progress. You can see that the high is right about here, just off the charts. All of our winds are still coming from the southeast, but now we're farther into the summer. We're farther in the sun is at its highest that we see it in the sky for us by the June 21st. Here we are, June 13th on this chart. So everything is getting towards its max of what it can do. And sure enough, it'll probably warm us up really good. So let's go back to the HRRR real quick and look at the close in temperatures. Let's go into the real close map so we can see the numbers a little easier. All right. Let's find where we're at right now, everybody. Everybody's looking for 13Z. 14Z is 10 o'clock, and it says 67 degrees. What did it say for 9 o'clock? It said 64. That's exactly what we were. And what are we now, Charlie? We're at 66 degrees, 67 degrees. So we've nailed it. We've nailed it on there right now. So you are seeing 67. We are right on the money. Let's see how warm we warm up on the HRRR today. Now, the HRRR already by what? 1 o'clock is at 80 degrees. There you go. We got to go all the way out to like 21Z. And notice it's into the 84 range. And look at this. Southern Indiana is cooler at 78, right? But we have abundant sunshine up here. That's why you're seeing temperatures as warm as they are. But I believe the HRRR temperature is closer today. 84 to 86 is a strong possibility, maybe even 87, 88 up near Rensselaer. Look there's a big pocket of upper 80s in central Illinois. Lots of 80s, upper 80s. I don't see any 90s top, but there's an 89 in a couple spots. It'll be hit and miss depending on where you're at. And I'm sure you're going to go drive through one of these desolate Illinois cities and you'll see a bank one from the 1980s that says 101 We know how that is, right? How we all get a kick out of that. Or you're going to jump in your car and it's going to say 101 for a while. Okay, so but look for another 84 to 86 day for us today with light winds, nothing real major there on that front. South of us, actually, where there's a little more cloud cover, they're cut off from the heat as much. They're going to be a little cooler today, more cloud cover down there. So that's kind of how that's running. And then let's see what happens over the next 2 days. Let's watch what happens. Here we are tomorrow morning, and we're just about 60. That's it. Do we hit 59? Yes, we do. 58. Woohoo. 58. And then by this time tomorrow morning, we're already same spot, 66, 67, and we warm right back up to around 80. But remember, now we're starting to pick up a stronger east northeast wind. Okay. And look at their, it kind of knocks down the temperature in the state of Indiana. Now, 80 is definitely something I can believe for tomorrow, a little cooler. But if the winds stay down, then we're going to pop right back up to 84 to 86 again, just like we were yesterday and like we will probably again today. And then Sunday morning, I think we can go out to Sunday morning on this. We find 6Z in the morning, it's 55 degrees. So a nice, cool, comfy day there Sunday morning where we should be right at 56, probably hitting 54 somewhere in there Sunday morning. And as you go off to church, it'll already be 65 degrees. So a very comfy day on that front. And so that's all your charts of what you're seeing, which is dry, warm conditions, rain out to our west. If you happen to go to Branson or something like that this week, you're going to be getting some rain on you. I know a lot of people are taking their early vacations. Let's take a look at some of the big charts real quick so we can look at that. I cannot get the large sections to pop up, but let's look in the Midwest anyway, right? And precipitation just over the next couple days. Let's say you're leaving somewhere. Well, again, where do we want to stay away from? This area here, right? We're talking anywhere near Branson, Missouri, St. Louis. Who wants to go to St. Louis? St. Louis to Branson, all of Missouri, Tennessee. You got some scattered thunderstorms there if you're heading that direction. Same thing up in the Iowa, Lincoln, Nebraska area, South Dakota. Looks like there's a few more scattered showers out in the panhandle of Texas, at least on this. Let's see some other areas real quick. Must look like what if you're heading to the East Coast? Look at that. Looks gorgeous out there. Man, if you're heading to DC for something this week and go to enjoy yourself, it looks like there's one little stream of showers wants to pop through on Saturday, but that doesn't even look like anything to worry about. Upstate Boston, it's going to be getting some rain up there. And that's why they'll be having some problems. Otherwise, the East Coast looks pretty quiet from, say, central North Carolina up to at least New York. You're looking pretty solid. A really nice weekend for them. And then low pressure cutting off through Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, that kind of thing. I know pretty soon there's a weather convention up there that we can't get to this week or this year. Man, I want to get to them. We just have not been able to get to them. I want to see some of the old guys from the Marine Corps. I haven't been to one in like 10 years. I've been to 3 of them now, I think. We went to the 1 or 2 of the first ones. Then we hit the Quantico one. It was at least 10 years ago, maybe 15. Joe was with me and Vicky was with Susie and I, and we had friends that we met there, and we just had a great time. The Salches, and maybe they're watching. Hey guys, see you out there. The Coys, good to see them. We need to see some of our other peeps. I'd like to see the Martins. We'd like to see, oh man, a little bit of everybody out there who might be the Hutchisons. Love to see them. I know they go pretty consistently too at times. So those are the folks we'd like to see again. For my old Marine Corps days, played a lot of softball with the boys, and we were all at the same air station together or different ones at times. Encounter people over the years, and just good peeps, definitely for sure. Okay, so the East Coast looks good. Let's look somewhere else. Let's look. How about you going south? Oh, south looks a little rainy, doesn't it? So here we go back here. Doesn't look too bad today. Say you're heading to Florida this week and you're going to see some family down there. There's a line of thunderstorms you got to watch out for tomorrow. If you say you leave tonight, and this is what I love, you leave tonight, and we all know we can make this drive to like Orlando in 15 hours, right? So we take off midnight tonight, and we're driving, and we go through the night, and we hit some showers in let's find out where tonight is. Let's go right about here. Let's say you leave at midnight. You're wanting to leave at midnight right there. Okay, so Indiana doesn't look bad. Tennessee, you may be a scattered shower in Kentucky. You're going to drive down to Nashville and then you're going to cut down along here. Look at this. You're behind everything, right? Everything is moving towards the east. So that's good news. You might catch a scattered shower as you're cutting into northern Georgia, as you cut across over to Chattanooga and then there. And then by you get into the, see, you're still up in Tennessee at this point. All right. And then if you're heading down, you get some scattered showers by the noon time frame. By then you're into southern Georgia tomorrow. And then by the afternoon, there you are. You've stopped and had some hot dogs and you've seen your Buc-ee's and you've done whatever you can. Northern Florida looks a little rainy. It looks like on Saturday. Central and southern Florida look okay. Scattered showers are always a possibility. It's a tropical climate. Remember that down there, or pretty semi-tropical anyway. And you'll see that. And then there's an abundance of a flow off of the Gulf of America coming in. All right, where else can we go? Let's head out all the way to the West Coast. Let's see what they got out there. Okay, so we've got the blocking high. There's been low pressures out towards Southern California, everybody. It looks like a little bit of rain up in the mountains and out off the coast. There's lots of scattered low decks and showers and rain out there. All right, so we've seen that, and that goes across. And it stays pretty quiet. You see a few scattered showers out in Utah. I wonder how often they get a lot of scattered rain like this. Well, end of May, still ski season for some places out there. We've got a buddy in Charleston that goes, man, that guy goes skiing everywhere. Russ, hope you're having a good time if you're watching this, buddy. And he loves skiing out there in the mountains. That's great. I'm glad he's getting to do what he loves to do. And not everybody's able to do that, which is nice. He's, probably making his money, living there in Charleston, relaxing, and then going skiing all the time, all over the place. It's good to see his daughter's a doctor now. That's awesome. 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 Okay, so there we go. West Coast looks good. How about other places? Maybe Seattle. Maybe you're heading to Seattle this weekend. Look at this. Lots of rain coming on shore there. And it looks like there's going to be some problems with some rain in different places. It looks like there's that same rain we saw in Utah coming up. And look at the direction it's moving. The direction it's moving is opposite of normal, right? Normally, everything swings in from west to east, or in these portions of Idaho, Montana, Wyoming. You're going to be, most of your weather comes in from the northwest, not from the southeast. Not that they don't get it. It just doesn't happen that often. And sure enough, lots of rain out there. If you're heading out to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, or you happen to be moving out to maybe you're trying to go out to Yellowstone. There's a lot of rain out there, it looks like right now, for Saturday and Sunday. So that's pretty much everywhere that you can go in the United States and find some weather. And we kind of covered it all. I did want to go back and look at the satellite picture real quick here. So let me get out. Let me bounce on my charts here. Turn, say hello, everybody. Then bounce, go back to my radar. There it is. And take a quick look on that again, because I wanted just to go out one shot here to the regional sectors. All right. So this covers all the way out to the mountains. Put the radar on top of it so you can see where the scattered rains are in Missouri, down through Tennessee, closing in on Nashville a little bit. Buddy Bill's down there this morning, and then lots of rain. This is just a steady rain all the way up into the Dakotas. Not this is on the severe category. Why? Because it's not your standard weather systems. You're not hooking up to the jet stream to produce rotation and to get movement. It's the same as it's normal. It does not mean they won't see a little bit of severe weather out of this, but now your chances are probably more just hail and strong gusty winds, right? And we can get that out on almost any thunderstorm. Now, as soon as you break away from that swath of moisture, look it out back here towards the west, you don't see a lot. And then as you look towards Denver, right, like right here is Denver, you don't see a ton right there either. But you see a line of thunderstorms, looks like in the Oklahoma City area, and back towards the Panhandle, there's a little bit of rain there. You go a little subsector and go back out. Let's see, is there anything in that Utah area? I don't see anything right now, but the model says, oh, there it is down here, down near Vegas. Oh, yeah, down near Vegas. And George, right? Isn't that St. George or George, Utah? St. George, Utah, down to the south here. And you got lots of beautiful parks in this area of the country that you might want to get yourself to. All right. So let's check out the visible real quick. We go to the cloud phase. I swap it out and then come back to India. And we see beautiful Lafayette right there. You can see the ground pop up very easily. Let's change to a different mode. Here's red. So you see the kind of high clouds just filtering by in spots. And we saw a few of those on the camera, a few spots we didn't. Looks like we're getting out of it. So we're starting to warm up, at least on that front. Let's see if we put a blue there. Oh, yeah, you see it a little easier, right? But they're just kind of high moving on through, nothing dramatic. That's why I put on the day cloud phase, where I see the high clouds really easy, but you don't pick up the mid clouds as easy, but you can just pick them out there. Even my colorblind eyes are picking those out, and I can see the ground really easy on these charts. Uh, Going in close right into Indiana. Here's what you're seeing, folks. There it is. Look at that, man. The Wabash Valley all the way over to Fort Wayne. You can see it very easily through there, right? I love that kind of stuff when you look at charts. The Illinois River over in Illinois. Wow, great. They stand out so well this time of the year. All right, so now here's what we're gonna do. It's Friday. It's free for all Friday. Bill's in here. Good morning. Yeah, he considers Florida subtropical, yeah, in his mind. So he's got that down there. So it's good. Bill's in there this morning. He's got a couple showers on his plate coming up pretty soon there for him. So good to see you, Bill. Glad you're in here this morning. I don't know how long you've been in. I've been talking a while. My OBS is not working right. I don't know if I think I got to update. I think that really is what it is. I keep hitting that tell me later button for the updates. That's probably what it is. But yesterday, as soon as I got out, it clicked right on and it worked. So watch that probably happen again today, and then I'll be frustrated. What's going on? What's wrong? IT. Oh, I'm IT. That's right. At least on this gig, I'm IT. All right, so we're going to call it a day today. It is Friday. It's 10 minutes to 10. I know I had some hiccups, but we got in here. Bill was able to get in. Looks like a couple people are in right now. It's good to see all you guys and talk to you all. And then I'll be back on Monday. The update on Johnny is he's doing pretty good. It's just kind of steady. He's maybe a slightly better than he was a couple days ago. I keep remembering it's only just a little over 3 days since this happened. And the doc told us 5 to 7 days before she thought she would really see some changes in him. So keep some prayers up for my brother-in-law, Johnny, and his family, and everybody is involved. Lots of people in and out of the hospital up there in South Bend. And we're going to keep saying some prayers for him. So that's it for now. I will see you. You have a great Friday and a good weekend. I will be back Monday morning at what time? 9 o'clock. See you then.